All right, everyone, welcome back to the Shuffle. This is championship week, so let's get it started with who won 2025. So our 2025 champion is Corey. Congratulations, Corey. What a hell of a way to finish the year. He finishes the season with a record of 44 and 64, did not miss a single week, and won the Shuffle with a positive units of plus 4.8. Now, with that, it all turned around for him when I did the hater podcast or the hater picks um, earlier in the year. So week 5, it was him and Shay competing for who's the worst, and that was a week I also missed the best reach we've had all season, which was a chase 2+ touchdowns. So after modifying that, he went on a tear. He was 35 and 43 to finish the season, and more importantly, he was 6 and 7 on his reach to finish the season. And so he just kept climbing from 8th place all the way up to, and then last week overtook spot 1. And so he is going to be our 2025 champion. So congratulations. He joins myself and Jamie as our previous champions. Um, and so congratulations. That's awesome. He was also best in category in spread at 12 and 6, and he was best in category in reach at 6 and 12. So super great season. Congratulations on that. All right, shout out to second place, Dalton. Dalton had a great season. He was pretty much top of the leaderboard the whole time. He has the most weeks won. He was 45 and 57 with plus 3.05 units. He missed a week. Maybe in that week he would have added 2 units or something like that, and then that would have been yeah, maybe that would have been the difference maker there. But with that, Jamie Stone in the minus single digits, and then myself and Nick fell off. Aaron, David, and Shay down there towards the bottom. And so, yeah, congratulations, Corey. That's awesome. Major comeback. That's what we're looking for here. And let's pivot back to the week. Let's recap the week a little bit now that we're got through the championship. So Jamie actually hit the second highest reach of the season this week. Kansas City Las Vegas game. There will be a safety in it plus 1,000. So 1 unit to win 10. He was the winner of the week. I think he's won back-to-back weeks. Yeah, week 17, week 18. So he finished pretty strong there. Got himself up to third place just on that. And Aaron 4 and 2, Corey 4 and 2, added 5, added 4 units. David Dalton kind of broke even there, less than a unit, and then Shay and Stone did pretty good, and then Nick and I must have gone too hard trying to overtake Dalton, and we ended up with 2 0 and 6s. So we failed. That's going to bring our 0 and 16 counter up to 14. Last season, I don't have it for last season. I have to double check. Let me check my notes. I thought I did. Nope, I don't have it. Oh, yes, I do. I had 15 total 0 and 6s in that year. So we did not set the record for most 0 and 6s. That's good. Um, and with that, let's kind of talk about the other reaches that hit this week. So Aaron hit a good one, Texas defense special teams anytime touchdown. That was an interesting one because that was on a backyard bullshit slap pitch around. The guy caught it, didn't have to take it to the zone, took it to the zone anyway to finish the season. Plus 410. Corey had a Higby touchdown plus 370. David, who's been putting in some positive bets pretty much all season, that's been his strategy. He hit 2 more. Um, yeah, and we end up with Dalton, Corey, Aaron, kind of over here on the low side. So for the season, we ended up with 111 total bets that were positive that hit. So anything plus 100 and higher counts for that. So 110 of those. How that compares to last year, we only had 90. So we actually had more. I think that's the direction that this is going. The strategy is kind of going more in a direction of take a little bit more risk because it's worth the reward, especially when we go off of units. It'll be interesting to see how people play it next year now that we're kind of warmed up to it. And so let's do best of category. Best of category, we already said Corey won reach and spread. Dalton had a really good over-under record at 13 and 4. That was the highest percentage of any category. And then additionally, Nick won best of bet. Nick also someone that only puts in a lot of those plus bets, a lot of those combine yards per quarter or every quarter. They'll get that 22 and 32 plus 1.83 units. So probably the weakest category from the group was the best bet side. That's normally not always been the case. And then let's pivot over into the worst of category. So, what we had, well, David worse than the spread, Corey worse than the over under, even though he won the whole thing. Shay worse than best of bet, 11 and 43, minus 39.66 units. That might be a record. That is officially a record. Okay, so I'll put that in the record books. And then Stone there at 3 and 14 with minus 9 units on the reach. You know, reach is kind of a fickle mistress. It's something when it hits, it makes everything better, and when it doesn't, you're not supposed to hit anyway. So, um, with that, that puts us in the season at 389 and 558 with minus 88.72 units. How that ranks compared to the previous years, it was our worst year, but only by 5 units. So in 2024 it was 83 minus 83 units, and then in 2023 we only did a half year. We were on a really bad pace. We would have crushed both these other records, but minus 67. The first year we did it, we only did a half year on that. So our worst year, but not by much, and it's good to see the scoreboards flipping and people enjoying themselves. I know I spent some time in Cumberland and with some people over the course of the season. It seems like everybody was enjoying it. So I just always like to say how appreciative I am of everybody putting in their tickets, kind of having fun with it. It's interesting. It's literally something that just came to me in my head one day. I thought it would be fun for us to do, and now we have 9 people. It looks like we might get to 10 or 11 by next year, and we might have this thing off and running in a place where it's a staple to our football season. So again, I'm always appreciative of everybody for contributing and putting in, and you know that's yeah, it's always worth doing the spreadsheet. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It's always seems to be worth it because everybody is having a good time with it. With that being said, I'm administratively kind of forecasting it to next year. I kind of got ahead of myself there. I'm thinking we'll have one. Shay's friend says he wanted to join. And so if that's still true, we'll add him next year. If anybody knows anybody, I think we could get up to 13 or 14. I'll double check, but so we could still add, 4 people to this. Then, that'll make it really competitive. Then all the games would then have to be used, and I could even get this videos and stuff out on Thursday. Um, just so we have, I can make that happen so we can get the Thursday game in there. The other thing I want to do is I definitely want to add in if you win the previous week, you get to pick your game for the next week. I think that's a good way to prevent people from not putting in tickets. I also think it's a good way to keep people, reward people. I think that's the number one complaint. Oh, I always get the shit game. So that's something else I'm thinking about. I don't know how I'll do it, if I'll do it for the winner or for Jamie who won the week or for Corey who won the season. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to start that, do full random week one, and then we'll start whoever wins the week for next season. Um, yeah, like I said, I enjoy doing it. I like seeing the stats and all that stuff. And, there's nearly 1,000 bets on the board right there. And, you make mistakes. So if I make mistakes, let me know. I think where our mistake rate is like less than 1%, which is pretty good. Some of these bets to get put in are kind of absurd. But yeah, I'm rambling now because it's the last video. I won't be chatting with anybody probably till next year. But again, I can't even say my gratitude for everybody for just following along, having fun, and hopefully if you're having fun with it, we'll see you next year. And if not, no big deal. We'll relocate and we'll see each other down the line. All right, that's it. Later.